Welcome in to DC On Screen, episode 256. I am your host, David C. Robertson. This, my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
Alright, so we have seen Suicide Squad, the extended cut. Thought we'd give you guys a little review here on the differences and what we thought, if it made it a better movie. What do you think, Jason? Do you think it actually made it a better movie, first of all?
Yes, not in the range of BBS, but
Right.
definitely a better movie. And the thing everyone was afraid of was, hey, what if we just shove all these Joker scenes in there, and then it just becomes this weird Joker Harley thing that cuts all the pacing and doesn't mess with the story. And my estimation of that is no.
Right.
You did get a lot more Joker. I mean, comparatively at least. And it didn't seem to mess with the story to me at all. In fact, the extra few minutes tied some stuff up.
Right. I think I saw someone online estimated the amount of Joker footage that was new was about 2 minutes of actual footage. And a lot of people on Twitter...
Feels like more than that, though, which is nice.
A lot of people on Twitter were so mad. They were angry. They wanted all these other scenes. And they were especially angry that they didn't get... And spoiler, sorry. You don't get the Two-Face Joker with... you know what I'm talking about? Where he's got, purportedly, I guess there was a point in the movie, originally, where the Joker shows up at the, the subway?
Probably.
Where everyone was at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, like, half of his face is burnt, and he says, bye-bye, and throws, like, a grenade or something.
Yeah, and that even showed up in a trailer, I want to say.
It did. It did. That being said, I'm glad it didn't, because that subway, I don't know where he would have shown up there.
Not a clue.
I have no idea how that would have...
And it would have messed with... The thing they did well is the parts of the Joker they added were the parts that were adjacent to something that already had to do with Harley.
Absolutely.
Or that actually added to the story. So it's all you really got was an extended version of a couple of the Harley bits. Mm-hmm. And it didn't feel interjected anywhere.
It was pushing it for me. Like, you know, it was like Deadshot and Flag, or like... Well, who is it? The president? Oh, it's not the president. What the hell's wrong with you? And then, like, this fades away, and she's, like, staring at a motorcycle, and it goes into the, you know... And then, like, she's walking up some stairs, and then she looks down and goes, like, oh, look, heights. This reminds me of that time with the vat of chemicals.
I was happy to give that to him, though, just because it's her.
Yeah. I'm willing to give it to him.
Her mind is so fractured anyway.
I'm willing to give it to him, absolutely. But it does not help the editing. Like, everyone was complaining, or not everyone, but a lot of people were complaining. A lot of the critics were complaining, like, the editing is a mess. It does not really help the editing of the movie.
To use her fractured memory as a segue, I guess, when I phrase it that way, no, that's not going to help an edit on a film.
What it does help, though, and this is the bulk, and again, a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people on Facebook have been complaining about this. I disagree with them, because guess what? All of these, the bulk of that 11 minutes that we got was the Suicide Squad interacting. So it feels a lot more natural when El Diablo sacrifices himself. I'm not going to lose another family. When he says that line at the end, it feels a lot more natural.
They've been through some stuff by now.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you get a recruitment scene, the spread the word scene that we didn't have before.
The spread the word scene was a lot of fun. We got the scene of Croc knocking Boomerang into the pile of boxes that Jai Courtney complained that wasn't in there.
Yeah. And we got to see a little bit more of him in general, just across the board. Like, he had the recruitment scene, even the little line in the bar, which the bar is another one of those scenes where they just added more to it. They padded it with a lot of more character interaction. You get that little El Diablo getting his water that the trailers gave and took away. You get a lot better idea of who these people are. You know, I'm not a thief. You get just a fuller sense of how much they've gone through in the last, I guess, really, it's like a few hours in the course of this film that they've really been hanging out.
Yeah.
Since being pulled together in a courtyard, and it's pretty much like one afternoon and a night. That's what we watched this.
But it somehow makes it feel more coherent. It feels like it's a lot more earned that Diablo refers to them as his family.
And you get what might be Boomerang's best line. I actually prefer to think of myself as an asset relocation specialist.
Great line.
Fantastic.
look, and Harley, there's a point in the film where this added where Harley is basically just psychoanalyzing and deconstructing every member of the squad
and demolishing.
And
she goes through Killer Croc. Thankfully he's impervious because she was pretty hard on him.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Boomerang, who says like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, like I don't remember every time you speak, it's like knives or something, something like that. I don't remember.
He's the one who kind of calls her out. And then you get this wonderful line from her. It's like somebody, I think it was Boomerang, asked her, like, "Why are you doing this?" She's like, "Because I'm bored. I need a mind to pry apart and spit in."
Yeah.
Fucking perfect.
It's like, and it's something that I haven't seen. I haven't seen it done before personally. Not really, where Harley sort of in her new state of insanity and malice, or crazy and malice, I guess I should say, because she's too crazy to be insane according to the Joker.
Right.
In her craziness and in her violent streak, being a bad guy now, she uses her psychology.
You don't see her get cerebral like that.
Yeah, you don't see her like
breaking somebody
down, people apart. Yeah, you don't ever see that.
It's
really
it's
fun.
a lot of fun for her too, because like it's as much as fun as it is to watch her hit you with a baseball bat.
Mm-hmm.
She can do a lot more damage just in a few seconds. I mean, she almost strips down Katana, but then she gets that great line out of Katana: "I'm not hiding."
Yeah.
What'd she say? "I'm not hiding." Is okay. That's kind of gangster.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed seeing more of Katana.
She actually was in this film now.
Yeah,
like she was a part of the movie.
Did we even get her little back shot? I don't think we. I think we did, but it just seemed like I didn't remember it. It was so short. A lot of some of the stuff that like seems like to me that it was added. I'm pretty sure it wasn't added. I'm pretty sure it was in the theatrical cut, but just seeing it a second time.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get some of that wrong because we haven't gone back and done frame for frame. There's plenty of great lists already on the internet that are doing that for you.
Yeah.
So the scenes with Harley and Joker were just all around tighter, just all around better, more enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Joker was more a part of this film now, without I feel like taking anything away from it.
Mm-hmm. I still stand exactly where I was. Like I've been on record. I'm on record on this show as saying, I could be okay if we never saw Joker again. That's it. I'd love to see Joker again.
I was at the point where I thought I liked him, but I needed more time, and just this extra couple of minutes, I did decide that I really liked him. This version of him,
there were a couple of bits where he was just Jim Carrey, just a couple of bits though. Which I'd be willing to give Jim another chance as the Joker, at some point.
Any chance. And something you brought up earlier. He goes through this whole you left me in a black hole of rage and confusion speech with her.
Mm-hmm.
Before he decides to just obliterate her brain.
But it's like he's doing it as revenge for her confusing him by messing with his brain. He says
something about
he does.
You helped me by erasing my mind, and then you took the few faded memories I had, or something like that.
No. He says he made her remember. She made him remember the few faded memories,
or
some faded memories, or something like that. Which to me made it seem like Harley may have actually
maybe she did get to the bottom.
Maybe she actually figured out who he was, or got close to who he was, who he originally was, and maybe that's why, that's part of why, when you have that great scene at the vat, and she, because he's clearly gonna just dump her and leave her, let her die in the vat of chemicals, and he's like, shit, and goes back and jumps in. Cause
that's after he's had what he would call a bonding experience when torturing her. He probably thought of that as good times. Remember that time? And then the wonderful scene where she shows up on the motorcycle. That's one of those, you're watching it going, oh, that's ridiculous, but that's kind of cool. But the motorcycle scene where she shows up outside, his lines there were phenomenal. I'm not someone who's loved. I'm an idea.
I'm a state of mind.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he's trying to convince himself.
He's at least, I actually do think he believes that even then. I think he's fully on board of and the thing is, it made him relatable as someone that's just a human that's become this weird thing, because he's aware that if he humanizes himself in any way, he won't have his swagger anymore. That's part of how he deals with the people in the streets. He's an idea. You don't mess with that idea.
He follows through with his plan according to his plan, and she's not part of the plan.
Right.
But then 2 minutes later, he's like, all right, damn it, we're together.
Right.
And that's why I say it seems like he's trying to convince himself that he's that's the that's the situation, and that's how he needs to be. Even though, like,
I'd say if he's trying to convince himself of anything there, I thought he was trying to convince himself that he wasn't a little impressed.
mm-hmm.
Like, like he's like, she's crazier than he is, and he's kind of starting to respect that, you know. And he says, if you weren't so crazy, I'd think you were insane.
Yeah,
which makes no sense. Honest to God, the line makes no sense, but it pleases me.
It was a fun line, yeah. But you know, I liked her line where she was like, I don't remember exactly how she puts it. You're scared of me, but you want me to shoot you in the head.
Oh, yeah, my heart scares you and a gun doesn't.
My heart scares you and a gun doesn't, yeah.
Something that they still missed was this movie still would have been more interesting with Slipknot getting like 2 seconds worth of an intro like everyone else. The first time he shows up in the courtyard, like, yep, that's the dead one.
I still agree with Ayer on that one. Like, we knew he was the dead one anyway.
I
don't
know,
need
but
an intro. There were so many intros. Like, I actually looked and it was like 16, 17 minutes of intros.
I know.
Just, let's get on with it.
I would have given him like 30 seconds.
Right?
Just a perfunctory introduction. You don't have to have Wonder Woman in there getting...
And I checked it was like 48 minutes before they even go on their damn mission.
Uh-huh.
Like, they're still in the courtyard of the prison. I'm like, yeah, get out of Bel Rev. For God's sake, please, get out of Bel Rev.
Let's get this movie going.
And I couldn't, and now it's the door's been unlocked, man. After seeing all of that concept art, I kept thinking, like, where would the mother box have fit in? Like, I know where it would have fit in. It was like, instead of her opening, making that stupid machine, which it felt like that was a rushed concept. Like, he's like, but they worshipped us. Not anymore. Now they worship machines. So I will build a machine.
Kill them all with a machine.
With a machine, yeah. And
it could have been a lot more fun if she was able to. I mean, she would be powerful enough in theory to control a mother box.
Yeah.
Without even knowing what the hell the thing was.
And I don't know.
And it would have been a lot more fun if she'd had that speech. You wouldn't have cared. If she had pulled a mother box out and said, "So we'll kill them with a machine," you would have thought, "Nope, no problems. Let's do this."
Yeah.
Don't care how fast that character transition happened.
Like, you don't even have to have a mother box. Like, she could have just used her magic powers that were somehow connected to Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Which is going to be around anyway,
hey,
so why not?
You know,
and she says the magic is rising and all that stuff. Plenty of New God
and
stuff.
all that metahuman stuff. Like, the metahumans are here because a change is coming. Like, that shit was dope.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if that was in the theatrical cut. I don't remember, but that shit was dope.
So.
Oh, man, it was good.
There was a couple of little things in there that got thrown in, like Croc throwing up. Again, more like team building, I think. Ayer's little cameo. I didn't even catch him. I didn't catch his little. Even when I was watching it, I didn't realize that Ayer had a cameo. I didn't recognize him, but
I think I would have recognized him if he didn't have the mustache. I've never seen him with the mustache before.
I read up it, but the scene I think that he appeared in was the skinless goat scene where he's they managed to like humanize Croc even more throughout this story.
They did.
You get a real full sense of what happened to Killer Croc, how he became this monster.
Unfortunately, with more Killer Croc scenes, it also comes with more need for closed captioning, because whatever effect they did on his voice, I cannot understand about half
I just
of what he
barely
says.
got it.
They're like, when old boy's like, what are you doing down here? Flag is like, what are you doing down here? Why did they put you down here? He's like, I asked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what? What? I had to go back, and it says, on the caption, it says, I asked. And I'm like, oh, he didn't say ask. He said asked. But yeah,
he had a great line later that I can't remember. I think it was when Harley was trying to torture him. He says something about, at least I know I'm in a sewer.
Yeah. Yeah. But then she's such an asshole about it. She's like, oh, yeah, I get it. Yeah, all these shops and the city, all this is a sewer. Boy, you hate mankind, don't you? Or whatever it was. It was just like, yeah, I get it. Ha ha. All right. Everyone's in a sewer.
So one of the other big things, you were talking about this, though, there's like the Rick and Deadshot storyline was way more impressive this way. Mm-hmm. They go through a whole arc together. Like, I don't remember feeling so... I don't know, impressed by their little team up by the end of the movie when I watched it in the theater. But by the end of this one, I'm thinking, these guys are bros now.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't there. Like, all of that.
Well, a lot of the stuff, like their deal was the big one that wasn't there. The deal wasn't there.
The little Harley being like, you're a rat, I smell a rat or whatever. I don't think that was there either. Like, with her kind of pounding on Deadshot about, like, what are you doing? You know?
What are you up to, man? And then, like, his line about, all that skepticism he faced, and then he met, about love he never experienced before, then he met June.
Because, that makes sense a lot more with what Deadshot was saying with Harley in the stairwell, where he's like, you don't kill people for a living and experience something like love.
Yeah.
Which plays in later with his daughter when she tells him she loves him and he's hugging her and he goes, I love you. And he's almost like annoyed that he loves his daughter, but he's like, damn it, this is love, isn't it? I do love my daughter. Like, it's a nice arc for Deadshot.
It was.
With all that.
And it was still like Rick Flag felt like a bigger character.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like he got a lot of screen time. It didn't feel like I was connecting to him as much as I did in this cut.
Yeah, and you connect him with Deadshot a lot more because of his love with June. Like him. Which bothers me.
He says something about... Oh, man, I wish I'd written down this line.
Because Amanda Waller's impressive, but she can't do everything. She can't make somebody fall in love with somebody else.
No. But in my version, I assumed that she knew the two personalities and knew that he was the kind of guy who would fall for her.
Okay.
I just assumed she did some calculations before and went, these pieces fit.
That's what I had to
there you go.
Try to, like, I'm like, personality profiles.
Well, when she said they knew what... They did what she knew they would do.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a line later. Feel free to remember it for me because I can't recall it. But Deadshot and Rick Flag are talking, and when he gets through with his little like June speech, he says like, "I'm gonna get you in there. I'm gonna get you through this." He has a whole thing, but at some point he tells Rick like, and it has reference to do with like, "This is your girl. We're going in there." It's like I'm gonna go through hell to go through heaven or hell or whatever to do this for you. But out of this point, it's not like the line that. Whatever that was, it didn't feel like it was him being selfish. It wasn't like him looking out for his deal. It was like, no, I'm going to support that shit. Like what you're doing is what you're feeling is real. I'm going to help that out.
Yeah, but that was after Rick had already been like revealed his final cards and said, "Here are all the letters from your daughter."
Yeah,
which also was incredibly aided by all of the previous deal stuff. Like, oh, this is just terrible. Why would you hold this from me? And but now at this point, like, we've worked through that. He's giving him his daughter's letters, and it's like, look, man, here's the thing. I love this chick, and blah, blah, blah. And now she's evil. And that sucks.
Well, and it's neat, though. Like, in the course of a few hours, they go from he was willing to push the button on the first one of them that tried to walk out. Whichever one did it was going down. Didn't matter. Good that it was the least interesting character, but...
the first time I saw this thing, I'm pretty sure I thought Scott Eastwood was the most interesting character because I'm like, who are you going to wind up being? And then it wasn't anybody.
It was nothing. I think he got like one more line in this cut.
I was so bummed out.
He was ready to kill them on the spot if he had to. Just a pure decision. I mean, just a group control mathematical decision. And by the end of their story, they're bros. I really dug that.
Like.
It took them only a few hours to fully bond as a team, and then you're right. As you put it, like now when Diablo says, "I've already lost one family," you felt it a little bit more than you did in the theatrical cut.
Absolutely, and it feels a little more real that at the very end with Deadshot and his daughter, and the dude comes up with the chains and Flag kind of stops him like, "Dude, don't do that shit in front of his daughter. What the hell's wrong with you?" Just stops him like with this like sad look on his face, like, "Look, I got to take him back. Don't do that."
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
Still though, we got Affleck's Batman coming in being like, "Deadshot, I don't want to do this in front of your daughter." You could have waited till you dropped her back at home, dude. Like, you're still wrong, Batman.
I actually,
but you know what? I attribute it.
Had the feeling that he was saying that, but really he needed to do it in front of her daughter.
Yeah.
Or he wouldn't have had a shot at getting him.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the animated series episode where Robin. It was the new Batman Adventures or whatever, where Robin goes to hang out with Dick Grayson for a minute. And he's like, talking about like what caused the breakdown. Maybe it was called Old Wounds. I don't know. But anyway, it was like the thing that started it was like Dick was pissed off that Batman beat the hell out of this criminal in front of his family, including his little kid. And he's like, "No, man, you took that shit way too far." And then, by the end, he's like realizes that Bruce gave the guy a job at Wayne Tech as a security guard to help him get his life back on track after he got out of jail. And the guy tells him, like, I had a run-in with a bat once. I wouldn't have fixed my life if he hadn't, done that in front of my kid and made me...
I was so ashamed.
Made me feel like such a piece of shit. Yeah. And Nightwing's like, oh, dope.
Batman's
actually cool.
I get it now. I just figured that he didn't think he could take Floyd down without having, like, the little girl as backup.
That's completely possible.
It's like, I mean, This version of Deadshot's no different. Like, if he sees you coming within 100 miles, you really may not ever get to him.
Yeah. I love the bit where, like, where Diablo's trying to get him out of the little spell that Enchantress has put him in. And he's like, it's not real, it's not real. And Deadshot goes,
I killed the bat.
I killed the bat. He's like, that's not what you want, man. And Harley goes, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that.
It was good.
So it was a lot of fun to actually just rewatch it for
yeah, it's been months for us, so it was about time.
I still don't buy the end though with Enchantress. It's like she just kind of hangs out for a little while and waits for them to get their shit together. I don't understand exactly why she's like, come join me, except for maybe that they're just that powerful that she kind of wants them on her side.
I mean,
eventually,
because I just had the feeling that
I can't imagine.
Like for me, it was like, well, you made it this far. You know, they're clearly pretty talented, and I'm completely magic, so I could just kill you at will. So yeah, just join me if you want.
But she still fights him for a while, and it's just weird.
But she didn't really have like at some point she kind of goes enough, and you get the feeling that like she was just bored enough to fight him for a second.
Yeah, I mean,
and that was really how I took it.
Didn't have a lot to do in the movie.
She was They needed to make sure they did something.
Yeah,
with it.
I can justify it. It just still bothered me a lot. Like still with the, he's like, I can't. The app won't work. You still have a gun, right?
Yeah.
Shoot Harley in the head and kill her. Oh. No, I'm going to get Deadshot to do it. And that was just a power play on Waller's part. Like, I'm going to make sure you do it. It's going to be you. You're going to be the asshole that kills Harley Quinn.
I mean, when he calls out when she calls out the squad, the plane goes down. Something touching about like another piece of the family coming together and like, another piece of the bonding. Like even Boomerang's the one who just nods over and says, "You couldn't save him, mate." Even just little pieces of that as the in the course of this cut, it just all felt a little more more real.
Even when he's like quote unquote misses, and he's like, I missed, and he walks by Boomerang and he goes, "Good one, mate."
Yeah,
like, yeah, all right, that was a lot of fun.
And it's possible that we just having viewed it again, we weren't like when you're sitting in a theater watching something the first time, you have so many expectations that it can take away from your ability to relate to some of the characters sometimes.
Yeah.
Unless it's the kind of film that's so pathos that it just demands you absolutely grab your emotional attention. Sometimes you can be looking at all the pieces and like me and you were already thinking about like, well, probably I'm going to want to talk about that. We're already like tagging stuff and stuff. So it may be that we kind of didn't have it may be that the theatrical cut is just that touching as far as the teamwork goes, but I suspect not. I suspect this cut gave us a little more in the teamwork capacity. I
feel like it definitely improved the movie. Whether David Ayer wants to claim it as his cut or not, I think it's a superior cut.
I think it is a little. I mean, just those little bits. They added and they didn't take away. That's really all.
Pretty much. What
more could you possibly say for an extended cut of a film?
And to the point where it was actually a bit frustrating.
Yeah, like by the end, I was like, I could have done with all that Joker on opening night, and that would have been great.
Like, and it doesn't. I mean, it brings it up a grade. I think. Like, if I would have said probably 6.5 to 7 theatrical.
No, I think we gave it a little higher than that.
You think I mean, I would put it.
I think you put it at 7.5, which for you is pretty high. You don't give out 9s and 9.5s like at all.
Yeah. Well, like I would give I would have given BVS probably a 6.5 or a 7.
Yeah.
Theatrically. Extended cut or Ultimate Edition, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah.
Probably an 8 or 9.
8.5.
I mean, the only weak thing really at the end of that day. I mean, but I liked Luthor, so. You guys can kiss my ass.
Eisenberg's portrayal got a lot of
hate. But I like interesting new takes on things. So anyway, whatever the grade was that we gave Suicide Squad, I'd say it was a grade higher.
You give it another point based on whatever it was.
Yeah. Still about the point of a Thor movie for me, though. Really, I mean, it's not like. I mean,
I enjoyed Ragnarok. I'm sorry.
We haven't seen Ragnarok.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dark World. Sorry.
I like the first one better.
I mean, Dark World, I didn't come from the future.
Right.
How's
Justice League?
Yeah.
Is it any good?
It's fantastic.
That's what I've heard.
You're gonna get a lot of laughs. They basically made it a comedy.
They better have.
It's pretty much 2 hours of slapstick with Flash at the center.
They better have, because if we've learned anything, it's that DC fans want slapstick.
Yeah. Superman shows up for like 2 seconds, and then somebody kills him again. It's amazing. Like, he literally pops out of the grave, and then Darkseid flattens him with his foot. It's just sad. Oh, one line. Just one more line that I had. I think I was out of lines that I really loved. I mean, there were actually more. I just didn't write everything down. Deadshot trying to rein in Harley there at the end of her little psychological torment section. Mm-hmm. Don't you start acting like a drunken stripper. And then she tells him, okay, sellout, I get it. This is just...
It was good.
That's good.
It really did.
That's real good.
The extra scenes really did help the squad, and that's what was important. Like, I didn't need every Joker scene ever. They shot
not everyone.
They shot like 3 movies worth of Joker. And
some part of me believes there's just at least a 45-minute full Joker and Harley film sitting on the floor somewhere.
Yeah, and
I mean, there was a picture of there's a statue of him in a Batman outfit.
Yeah. Who
didn't kind of want to see what that was about?
It may not have been about anything. From what I understand, it was just Hot Toys was just having fun.
Just having fun? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
But, ultimately, though, like, guys, there's like 4 hours of Joker and Harley material, or just Joker material laying on the floor somewhere. It's not literally on the floor. You know that, right? You guys know that, right? It's in a file somewhere.
They seem to care about it that little. They may have actually taken the hard drive out and tossed it on the floor.
I don't think they do. Look, they filmed a bunch of shit. Some of it's probably unusable because Jared Leto was off his nut.
Yeah, and he said at some point that I came in with so many. I came in and gave him so much and something.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of those lines where it came off a little odd, and it came off sounding like he was just full of himself. I think he meant it quantitatively. I think he came in with like 14 different takes. On each scene, and so when he was saying I gave him so much, he's like, literally, no, I came in prepared. Not like I did the best acting ever.
Right.
I acted the fuck. Yeah, I don't think that's what that was.
Is that the best acting ever? Is that the grade level?
I don't think that was what he was expressing. So I do think there's that much extra
I didn't know
footage.
If that was an official rank for acting.
Yes, the fuck. Official ranking.
That's what you... It's on a chart at Juilliard.
It's on a chart that's like the top is the fuck, and then balls is pretty much the bottom. Okay. I acted balls is pretty much bottoming out on this one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, I mean, look, we've got it's been confirmed. We have a Harley Quinn / Birds of Prey movie coming up.
Yep.
We know a fair amount of the footage got really negative testing in the test audiences because it was too abusive. It was too rough with Joker and Harley.
Yeah, that was, I think, one of the reasons they pulled the story down so far. And something I actually was kind of looking for in this take was, is it going to go too far in that? And I actually just don't think it did. I mean, it's a fucked up story they tell.
It is.
But it is a fucked up story they are. And I don't think they went too far into making it, like, they didn't show, like, physical abuse. No point, like, aggrandizing that.
Right.
They did show a lot of emotional abuse, but that's what those characters do.
I don't mind Joker slapping Harley every once in a while. Like they did on the animated series. And that was a kid's show. But he would just slap the shit out of her and throw her out. And you knew it was a bad relationship. It made it play a lot more on Poison Ivy's like, dude, why are you still with him? And she's like, I love him.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, though, that's old school Harley. That's 1992 Harley.
Yeah.
And at this point in the comics, she's moved beyond that shit.
Oh, she's way past it.
Yeah, but...
And I think audiences, for the most part, have to, like, domestic violence is such an issue. There's really no point even adding it to this film. All you're going to do is, like, piss a few more people off that you didn't have to.
Well, at this point...
And you can still tell the kind of story they did, where they are a messed up, codependent fucking mess. I mean, it's bad.
Well, like, when I say, like, I wouldn't mind Joker slapping Harley around a bit. I don't mind it because in the animated series when it happened, like, she would only take so much, and then she would be, like, a total badass, and you're like, yeah, Harley, get him! And he would, like, give puppy dog eyes or whatever. Because it's not just that she's dependent on him.
No, it is codependent.
It's codependency. Yeah. They're both just sick. And
absolutely
whether Joker wants
terrible people.
Yeah, whether Joker wants to admit it or not.
Yeah.
And that's kind of... And it does kind of make me a little sick. Like, all the girls who are, like, putting up pictures of Joker and Harley on Twitter and Tumblr and being like, hashtag relationship goals. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Why?
Like,
Why would you do that?
That is not okay. But especially with things like the Harley Quinn solo series and Injustice and everything, she's actually a little cooler than he is. Like, she's a little more violent than he is. Like, she's just as terrible.
And this film did a good job of pointing that out. Like, even Waller says up front, she's crazier than the Joker.
Now, I don't know how I feel about how they've pushed Harley into being basically the Deadpool of DC, but she's like making fourth wall jokes.
I'm good with that.
But
I am good with that.
A part of me is, and then a part of me is like, oh man, this just, I don't know. Like, part of that's beautiful, and then another part of that's just like, oh man, where's the essence of that character gone?
I think in good places,
but I don't want to bitch too much.
If you're gonna have somebody pitching fourth wall jokes and being the flabby mouth here, like, who else would you nominate?
I mean, she's crazy.
She's perfect.
She's crazy. She's pretty perfect for it. And, and then again, I can't gripe about it too much. I mean, look at the first episode she was in of animated series where she's like, my mother told me I should have stayed in beauty school. Why? You were a psychologist. Oh wait, that came later.
They hadn't fleshed that out. We weren't too mad love yet, man.
I'm okay with a little retcon. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah, retconning in this case was a glorious step.
Anyway, what else we got?
I think that was it.
Everything.
I think as usual, we managed to take an amount of material that was amounted to 13 minutes and talk about it for more than twice that.
Well, we were still just talking about Suicide Squad again. A little BTAS.
Yeah.
Still, Waller's the villain of this movie.
Easily.
Oh, and for anyone who's pissed off about as I meant to say this earlier, anyone who's pissed off about Joker not having the Two-Face, like half of his face blown away scene with a grenade, or burned away in the helo, it would make no sense that he didn't have any scars when he showed up to get Harley at the end. So...
Well, they don't say how much time passed. But
no, but...
He looked pretty scarred.
Yeah, he looked messed up. So unless he's got a Lazarus pit show.
Yeah, it may have been one of the reasons they did that, was they kind of looked at it and went, you know what? I think we may have done the makeup a little too much here. Yeah. Can we CGI the makeup out? Not that much.
Yeah.
Not that much.
So I think that just burn it enough and those awful tattoos disappear. But if they do more Leto, I'm sure they've got enough footage to throw in some flashback scenes if we get a Harley solo-ish movie.
Yeah.
Birds of Prey, whatever. But you know what?
He hasn't even been announced for that. I mean, there is no current plans to have Leto appear in the DCEU right now.
But what I'm hoping, because of recent comics, recent lineups, I'm hoping we get Katana in the Birds of Prey.
Ooh. Why not?
I mean, yeah, she's been in Birds of Prey, so...
And then, we could have an actual amount of time with her.
Yeah.
I mean, all we saw was her be a very laconic badass that only seems to have... I mean, she only got to emote, really, when she was talking to her sword. Past
she did
that,
a fine job.
Oh, great job.
And but, I didn't feel like, especially with this cut, I didn't feel like I was robbed of anything. I just wanted a taste of some of these characters. Like, I know Boomerang's probably going to show up in The Flash. I know Katana's probably going to... I'm hoping Katana will show up in either Justice League Dark or Dark Universe, whatever the hell they want to call it.
Yeah.
Doug Liman, don't fail me.
I mean, they just did Justice League Dark for the animated, so we make it Dark Universe instead.
I think they're actually going to call it Dark Universe.
I don't know if they're going to actually name it the same way twice.
But, all these characters are going to kind of fan out and be on their own for a second, I think. So, I don't know. I had a good time with what we got, and people need to get off his dick. Like, it's a good movie. It's just...
It made a ton of money. Well, there's plenty of people not on that.
Enchantress and Incubus were kind of fun, but they weren't the real villains yet.
No, not the real one.
All right, well, that's it. We're going to take off. Hope you guys enjoyed our extended cut. A really extended review. We are DC On Screen. You can find every episode at DCOnScreen.com. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play. Facebook, Twitter, DC On Screen. Use it as one word, you'll get it. I have a lot of fun, talking to people in GIFs on Twitter. So you will be able to experience that if you follow us on Twitter.
Yep.
Not Facebook. You should get on their ass. Tell them to start using GIFs more often. Tell them to optimize it for that. Anyway, We're a proud member of the Giant Size Team Up Network. GiantSizeTeamUp.com. What are we doing next? Gotham review on. They'll probably drop on Sunday. So
yeah, you got a bunch of reviews.
We'll have
on
all
Sunday.
of our shows and.
All 6, I believe.
Yeah. And then news on Tuesday. So, guys, until next time, keep some DC on your screen.